Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. Gonna do one more Kevin Gilbert video now today that I talked about, and then I think probably today's video is about the song crossovers. I probably will do, not putting him to bed, sort of like the way with Marillion. You know, we got the new album coming out from Marillion coming up in a few weeks, but I'll definitely do a song rankings at some point, because I mean I did this WatchMojo.com list that they'll never make. I did a Kevin Gilbert favorite songs list ranking that was probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't remember when, but it'll just be kind of like a redux, you know, of that, I'm sure, in the blog. And then I'll do like an extras, sort of like a hodgepodge, like live albums. The other stuff that I've shown, maybe some of them I maybe haven't shown. I've shown briefly, but I haven't talked as much about. I haven't revisited. So, but I don't know when that will be. Could be in a few weeks. I don't know. I want to go back and resume the Deer Hunter video series and do a ranking for those next. But just I'm doing today the Kevin Gilbert song crossovers as I did my research, and some of this is not. This is hardly 100% accurate. Some of these are just the same versions, I think, but some of them are not. But just to kind of rattle them off, I mean, I'm not gonna have all these props and stuff. And I did do, I'll admit, I did do rip this on my computer, and I haven't listened to it yet. So I think that's another video where I'll go over this more in detail compared to the version I did, the video I did back in 2015 when I was just talking about it when it initially came out. So yeah, I'm not gonna. Can't, you know, just too many props. It's just too many. It's alright, hold on. Alright, I'm going to attempt to do this as using props. So, okay, just going alphabetically, because I made these alphabetically. So, the first song is All Fall Down, which initially was on, if I have it, was on The View From Here. And then it was also then on Thud, of course, the many versions of, more than one version of it, All Fall Down. There's, let's see, there's the Toto version that's on this version of Thud too. But actually that might be it, actually, for All Fall Down. So there's 3 versions of the song All Fall Down by Kevin Gilbert. Kevin Gilbert / Giraffe. So, okay. Going next on the list, there's the song Because of You off of The Power of Suggestion. And then, of course, this is the most well-known one. He did Shrug on Thud. And he also did, which Shrug parentheses Because of Me and You, which is like a remaking, as I mentioned in that Thud video, or yeah. And then, of course, there's also on this, the 20th anniversary, Because of You demo, which, again, I haven't revisited. When I get the chance to revisit this soon, I ripped it onto my computer. I probably put it on my flash drive. My car right now, unfortunately, is being worked on, so I don't even have access to my car to listen to anything in the car. So, all right, so that's Because of Me and You, Because of You, Shrug, etc. So, okay, I did not grab the covers one. The covers one should be was here. I have to pause this again. My apologies. Okay, so there's a song, the cover, Carpet Man, Fifth Dimension cover. It's on this, the recently released covers. Well, I should have probably said it in the right order, but there's also on Call Me Kai, there's Carpet Man on Decent Exposure, the first one, the first of the 4 from '85. So they're different versions too. They're very similar but not identical. So Carpet Man is on both of those two. So then there's Circling Winds, which pretty sure is the same version. So it's really, there's not 2 versions of this, I don't think. But Circling Winds, which came on also on Decent Exposure, on Call Me Kai, technically, you know. And then also Circling Winds was on, getting this right, it's Nuts. I've memorized most of the track list differences between Nuts and Bolts, but not all of them. But I think it's the same version. I mean, you know, I have to do a comparison. I didn't get around to doing that for that particular Circling one. So then there's the song Finale, which was on Mixed Bag 84 to 87, and that's one of the two versions with the vocals, or at least the version with the vocals. Then there's also the version called the finale on the Power of Suggestion. Roll credits. It's roll credits, please version of the finale. Is like the very bottom, as you can see there. But then then the finale also was included on, I believe it's Bolt, because it's the second of the two technically, and that's the version with the vocals too. The version on the Power of Suggestion is just instrumental. I think the version on Bolt, this one, is the same as the one on Mixed Bag. I'm not certain of that, but they're very similar because the vocals are in both. So, all right, so that's for the song finale. So then there's the song Good Man, Bad Man. I'll get into one other part about that, but there's a version on his, the first album he did, NRG. No reasons given. The album, Good Man, Bad Man. And then there's a version of that on Decent Exposure from Call Me Kai. Again, similarities are it's probably pretty similar, but yes. Good Man, Bad Man, as you can see right there. Glare, my apologies for the glare. So, I'll get back to it when I'm done with this. I'm making my way through this list. So, then there's the song Image Maker, which a favorite of mine. I still frequently think of, but I'll show this also. There's the Image Maker that's on Call Me Kai, sometimes Y86, which is image space maker space. It's two words, as you can see right there in the middle there. Maybe I should turn the light on. I don't know since I think it makes more glare. But so then there's also Image Maker from The Power of Suggestion, which came out a couple years later. And again, it's Image Maker, but there's a difference. Like, I know that these two earlier versions of Image Maker, they're more of like a jungle marimba, inflected version. But then, of course, there's to me, the definitive version of Image Maker, and it's one word versus two, with Nick DiVirgilio and the bridge vocals on The Shaming of the True. Let's see. So, all right. Then I was kind of wondered about that, like, Image Maker. Did he have it when he wrote that song? He talked about image, the whole rock star image, being in the 80s and stuff too. He wrote that, and then it kind of felt like it fit with this sort of rock opera, about a rock star concept. I don't know. It's pure coincidence. So going along, connected to that, there's the song From Here to There that was on The View From Here. Again, where's my CD here? I'm doing musical chairs with, The View From Here, the second Giraffe album, From Here to There. I'll Build Me a Robot, that song. And of course, then there's the version that he re-recorded for The Shaming of the True, which, again, I need like one of those rotating wheels or something like that, but From Here to There. And, I love the Giraffe version. I've grown to love the Giraffe version, but I would still go with the Shaming version. So there, okay, so then that was supposed to go in the lyrics. So I'll mention that later. Come back to that if I remember, hopefully. So the next one, yes and no. I'm not really sure if this is really a repeat because of the download version of... The download version of No Reasons Given has the Rain Suite, the two songs, but this version that's the CD does not. The downloadable, that used to be downloadable on Kevin Gilbert's site, kevingilbert.com. But the Rain Suite also is the two tracks, If Ever Rain Will Fall and Broken Ties, was on Decent Exposure 85. Pretty sure they're the same version, because when this album came out, it wasn't on there. So he's like, there's some extra music, but I guess technically the Rain Suite you could say was part of the NRG band, I think, But I don't know. Maybe there's a difference. I'd have to again listen. I think they're on Spotify, the one that's from NRG, and compare the two of them. So anyway, moving on. Next one up is, again, alphabetically, so we're getting in the S's now. Shannon Elizabeth. The song Shannon Elizabeth was on Call Me Kai, Point Blank 87. As you can see. Shannon Elizabeth. And it also was on, I believe it's Nuts. On the Nuts and Bolts compilation from 2009. Now, the differences, I kind of think they're different, but I know they weren't that different. The arrangements, maybe just, it was mixed different, he re-recorded it. Alright, so here's the biggest one, maybe. The song Staring Into Nothing first appeared on No Reasons Given from 84, which, yes, there it is. It's on the second side. Staring Into Nothing. You can see there. That was the first one in 84. Then 85, he included a different version of Staring Into Nothing on Decent Exposure. Then he included a different version of that, a longer version, I believe, in 87 on Point Blank. So there's two versions of Staring Into Nothing. I think it says Staring Into Zero on here, the second version. Yeah, the Point Blank version says Staring Into Zero, as you can see there. But yeah, Staring Into Nothing was on two different of the releases from Call Me Kai. Then, of course, the definitive version again, with like narrative and stuff like that. If I can find it again. This is again a juggling act on The Shaming of the True, Staring Into Nothing. So, again, he re-recorded that song in effect 4 times. You know, the last one being the best of the 4 in my mind, and most people probably feel that way. So, all right. So then there's the song Suitcase Living, which was on again a download, I believe, from No Reasons Given. Not actually. I don't believe Suitcase Living is actually on this. No, it's not. No reasons given. But then it also appeared on Decent Exposure from Call Me Kai, the Decent Exposure 85, the Call Me Kai version. So I'm not sure. Again, I'm kind of thinking that's probably the same version. Given it was just a download. It wasn't on the original No Reasons Given album. He had it available just like the Rain Suite, and so he included it on the first album he released as a gift, Decent Exposure in 85. So then there's also, I don't know if this is, the song Suits Me Fine is connected in any way. That's from Point Blank on Call Me Kai, but Suitcase Living suits me fine. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so then Tyrol Man. The Tyrol Man suite was first given or released and recorded for the Sometimes Why album, the Suite, from 86, which, to me, that is the definitive version. That's my favorite version. But then you have Tyrol Man, which in the podcast with Bruno and Mark McCright, he mentions this was supposed to actually, the first song was put onto Thud, but this was re-recorded. But it was finally released on Nuts. It also was played live with Giraffe, the Tyrol Man. But that's just the first movement, really. But just imagine if he would have re-recorded the rest of the suite again. It would have been amazing. But as it is, the Tyrol Man suite on Call Me Kai and Sometimes Why is awesome. So then I also would throw in there the connection between Tyrol Man Part 2, Terpsichorean in the suite, that's on Sometimes Why, and Terpsichorean Part 2 on Call Me Kai, that's the instrumentals on Mixed Bag 84-87. So, and I talked about that in my review last week. So, plus the song Yo Yo Yo. I'm going to stop for a minute. Apologies for that. I get post-nasal drip, and you don't know when it's going to show up. But I'd also just add partly connected to Tyrol Man is the song Yo Yo Yo, and they talked about that in the podcast last year about how that song could be mixed in to the Tyrol Man suite, and it would be interesting. I haven't tried it, but it would be interesting to listen to that way. So, all right, moving on. Until I Get Her Back is the next one, and that one originally on Call Me Kai, of course, the Sometimes Why on here, I believe. Yeah, this is the 86, Until I Get Her Back. And then Until I Get Her Back was on Until I Get Her Back. No, Until I Get You Back. I wrote that down wrong. Until I Get You Back. And then Until I Get Her Back was on Nuts. And then there's also Until I Get Her Back, a studio version on the 30th anniversary, the 20th anniversary on here. What I'm not sure about is there a difference between the one that's on here and the one that was on Nuts. I'd have to do again a comparison. Till I Get Her Back. So there's two Until I Get Her Back, and there's Till I Get You Back. So 3 total, I guess, in a way, but I'm not sure if those two are... The one that's on the Thud anniversary from 2015 is not the same one from Nuts. Alright, so then there's Waking the Sun, that's on... If I can pull it up. Waking the Sun, which I don't know if I really talked about the opening track on Bolts. That, and then there's also a 20th anniversary instrumental version on this. The 20th anniversary Thud has Waking the Sun instrumental, so... Alright, so then there's the Way Back Home. I mean, again, you're talking about comparison with demos. The difference is a lot of these songs were released officially on different releases, as opposed to like the box sets and instrumental versions that and demos and stuff that you find from any release from a lot of different artists when they re-release stuff. You know, remastered with bonus tracks and all that stuff. So that's why these kind of stand out a little bit more than just your standard extra tracks. And different incarnations, different time frames, with different musicians and everything. So... Kind of like King Crimson in a way, when that DVD I got, the Deja Vu, where you can combine rhythm section and lead sections from different eras for 21st Century Schizoid Man. The Way Back Home is the next one is on, again, this is a shuffling game, of course, that I'm not too good at. It's on here, on The Way Back Home, like From Here to There. The Way Back Home is on The View From Here, I believe. Am I not? Yes. Way Back Home, on The View From Here, the second Giraffe album. And of course, then was re-recorded for, The Shaming of the True. Which, again, I'd still lean toward this, although the versions are pretty damn similar. But, you know, one has the Giraffe guys, one has other people besides Kevin, probably. I don't know, when we get that, if the Shaming of the True vinyl/box set comes out, a lot of that stuff, hopefully a lot of the credits will be offered up, although as I've come to learn, a lot of Kevin's stuff, while he had details and left notes and stuff, some of it's just sort of not there. A lot of details, so we may never know. We don't know about a lot of the stuff. We may never know about that version. Who knows? So moving on, Welcome Home is a song that was originally on Decent Exposure in '85, the last track. Like, you know, not to be confused with Coheed and Cambria's Welcome Home, which is a great track too, but that, and then it was later recorded with Giraffe, and I believe it was The View From Here. Again. Yes. So, I mean, this record, The View From Here, you got From Here to There, All Fall Down, The Way Back Home, and then Welcome Home. Like 5 of the 10 songs were re-recorded at one or more points, but doesn't mean this isn't a great record. It just, you know, they're different versions. They're pretty similar, though. It's kind of a closing ballad I mentioned about the people going to war and justifying war. And it's sort of ironic how it's soft, but then it's about a really dark topic. Anyway, so When Strangers Part was originally a song that was on the No Reasons Given album. Again, yeah, it's the last song on side 2. The last track on the standard version, not the download that came out whenever in the 2000s on his website. And then, of course, When Strangers Part, he recorded, I can't remember which one it was on. I think, it was on Nuts. Yep, it's the 4th track on Nuts. Strangers Part, so. Which, again, I'd lean toward Kevin's version. I mean, you're talking about that was, who knows how many years later. Number of years later, because this was good, but it was done when he was in high school, so. Singing different too, of course. So the last track in this crossover I've detected, at least, is The World Just Gets Smaller. Originally on The Power of Suggestion. And then, of course, was recorded on Nuts. Yeah, and there's a big difference. I mean, I like the version on Power of Suggestion, but this is really a good version on Nuts. So that's it for the crossovers. Now I want to just discuss as briefly as possible some of these lyrics. So I went back. I don't want to skip this part. There's the song called mirror image on here, on No Reasons Given, which has a phrase, hold on to your dream, dun, dun, which I believe also uses the same phrase on a song called Another Day on Sometimes Y86. So, well, it's not the same song, he used the same phrase on the same melody, actually. So now these are some of the other kind of connections of sorts. So there's the song, of course, on No Reasons Given and on Call Me Kai called Good Man, Bad Man. Well, anyone who knows Toy Matinee probably knows it better that there's a lyric, the song Last Playing Out on Toy Matinee mentions Good Man, Bad Man. So, I don't think I wrote anything more. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so, let's see here. Also, I could mention how the Titled Man, two things about that actually. One time I think it was referred to as the Puppet Suite. For all we know, there's another version known as the Puppet Suite that's slightly different even than the one on Call Me Kai. I don't know. But the other thing I have failed to mention, I've never seen it mentioned, even though the Tyrol Man isn't talked about that much. I mean, it's probably talked about a lot on the Facebook groups and stuff like that, but in the old email list. It's obviously, that the similarities to Genesis' song, Ripples, but it's a metaphor or like sort of narrative of Pinocchio. Someone should do, and I don't have the ability to do this, take like a sync up of the Pinocchio film and sync it up with it. Because it's about Pinocchio. It's in effect a puppet, who turns into a boy, and the woodmaker, that kind of thing. So, yeah, but, Pinocchio. I don't know, there should be a band that does a cover it and calls it Pinocchio. I don't know, so. But, anyway, so moving on here. I could be wrong, but, yeah, he mentions Man of Reason on Last Playing Out. I got another lyric. And All Fall Down is mentioned, I think both of them are mentioned on Progress from The View From Here by Giraffe. I haven't revisited that for a few weeks now, but just remembering. Where's Progress on? Again, the more I love The View From Here, the more I'm understanding about The View From Here. It's like taking a bunch of different songs and then they re-recorded them. He re-recorded The View From Here in different incarnations and parts. Yeah, I think that's it. I noticed a few other ones. Like he used the lyric, the wording on Finale, on the two versions with vocals, and the song All Fall Down, the phrase understandable grudge. So, a lyric he liked apparently. Also the words no big deal. There's a song on Call Me Kai, I believe it's Point Blank 87. No, there's a song called No Big Deal on Point Blank 87. Yes. Well, and I mean, it's just a phrase, but he does talk about no big deal, I believe, on Fun from The Shaming of the Truth. So, I mean, no big deal is a commonly used phrase. I mean, it's not that weird, I guess, but Better Left Unsaid. Also, the song Suits Me Fine from, again, I believe it's Point Blank 87, Point Blank on Call Me Kai, was also used in Joytown from Thud. Things better left unsaid. So, there's some other connections like Suits Me Fine and Suitcase Living. The keyboard patch in Suits Me Fine also is a similar patch to Suitcase Living, the same patch. I don't know, that's probably, you can name a dozen or 24 examples of that, though, probably throughout his discography. So, I think that's about it. I mean, there's probably some more stuff, but that's the gist of how many tracks that he re-recorded and reused lyrics for the most part. Which, I mean, just counting this down, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I missed one. 7, 8, 9. I guess technically you could say 10 with that one. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So a total of 21 songs that he basically reused, re-recorded, rearranged. The one I forgot, I missed, was the song God's Been Tapping My Phone. God's Been Tapping My Phone was on Mixed Bag 87, the last one, 84-87. I think. Did I miss that? I put this in... Yes. No, sometimes Y86, rather. Yep, it's in the middle there. Which I really like that version. It's a little longer, I think. If I'm not mistaken. But, of course, he did God's Been Tapping My Phone also on Bolts from the Nuts Bolts compilation of 2009. So, but yeah, 21 songs, you know. He always was trying to perfect. I mean, you could say he ran out of song ideas. Not really. He just happened to think of some other way to record a song that was already good and make it better. A lot of artists wouldn't do that. Wouldn't waste their time, think that they're just revisiting the past. Kevin, for whatever reason, felt like he could do things better from something that he did previously. And, you know, he did in a lot of ways. It's a lot, you know. I don't know how many total songs, if you look at all these records, it's like the 9 records that I went through, I guess it's a total of 14 if you include Nuts and Bolts separately and you include each album from Call Me Kai separately. All 14 records, you know, it's probably like 150 songs or something, a total, something like that, maybe close to that. So 21, so like whatever, 21 out of 150 or whatever. But maybe it's not 150, it's like 130. Anyway, so that's the gist of it. You know, I don't fault him for doing that, you know. Would he be doing it now? Maybe not as much. He might still be, but, you know, I think at the point he got into the mid-90s, he was just like, you know, I'm going to do things here and there and maybe revisit some of my old work, but I want to write a lot of new music. That's why he did Caviar. Caviar doesn't have one track that he ever previously had done. You could say some similarities on The Shaming of the True and Caviar, like the tone on Certified Number One Smash and on, what is it? I can't think of... Again, the song that I can never think of. Ghetto of Beautiful Things. Those 2 tracks could have easily been part of Caviar, you know, and some of the Caviar stuff might have found its way into Shaming if he had actually released it the way he wanted to fully, you know, not passed away, so. But yeah, I think the next one maybe I'll go over this more in depth, maybe, and then the extra stuff, and then Kevin's kind of to bed until we find out about The Shaming of the True or something else comes out, you know, but... You know, he's my favorite musician of all time. I never get sick of him, but, you know, need to do some other stuff. You know, I've spent the last month basically talking about Kevin Gilbert and exhausting, you know, and there's a lot of stuff that's related to him that I haven't talked about, like the Keith Emerson album. I might check out, might do a review of that, the Changing States that he played keyboards and I think engineered. There's this No 2, I believe it's called, band that Robert Ferris was part of. His friend, and then some of the Giraffe guys. Kevin played on it. I don't think he sings on it, but I've never heard it. And it's on eBay. There's like 9 out of the 11 tracks or something on YouTube. I owe it to myself to listen to it. So there's a few things here and there related to Kevin that I'm going to be taking in that I might make videos about. I don't know, but as a whole, I'll probably be making only 2 or 3 more, and then it's kind of... Let's move on to other things in 2022, of course, and start doing more of these video series rankings and stuff, like with Fate's Warning and King's X and... you know, some of these other ones that have at least reasonable catalogs, I think I could do more of these. So, but anyway, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.